The tragic story of French socialite imprisoned for 25 years. If Blanche Monnier hadn't made the wrong choice for a future husband, history might not have recorded her existence. Loving the wrong man was serious business in the past, as the incredible story of a French young woman who was secretly locked up in a small room for 25 years shows. She fell in love with an older, broke lawyer who her aristocratic mother disliked and set her heart on marrying him. Her mother and brother mourned her and went on with their daily lives. But behind the appearance, they were hiding a terrible secret. In Paris, 1876, 25-year-old Monnier was a typical socialite scrambling to find a suitor before it was too late. Blanche just vanished. Nobody in France saw her in public again. Her mother and brother mourned her and continued with their daily lives. A group of officers broke into the house, searched the premises, and upstairs noticed a padlocked door. When they removed the lock, a horrifying smell filled their noses. Soon Blanche was forgotten. Years passed. The lawyer she loved passed away, and Blanche's fate remained a mystery. Blanche Monnier, now weighing just 55 pounds, had been kept prisoner for a quarter of a century. She was a well-respected citizen in Paris, from an aristocratic family, awarded for her generous contributions to the city by the Committee of Good Works. They pried open the windows. There was Blanche Monnier. The attorney she so loved died in 1885. During all that time, the girl was confined in the lonely room, fed with scraps from the mother's table when she received any food at all. Her only companions were the rats that gathered to eat the hard crusts that she threw up on the floor. Not a ray of light penetrated her dungeon, and what she suffered can only be surmised. She had not seen the light or another human being during that time. He even said that it was her choice not to move, not that she wasn't permitted to leave, while the real author of the note that saved Blanche was never found. Some people believe that it was Marcel. In 1876, when she was 25, the young Monnier fell in love with an older lawyer who lived nearby and wanted to marry him. She lived until 1913 and died in a sanatorium in Bois, covered in food and feces, with bugs all around the bed and floor, was the 50-year-old Blanche, weighing barely 50 pounds. All around her was formed a sort of crust made from excrement, fragments of meat, vegetables, fish, and rotten bread. We also saw oyster shells and bugs running across Mademoiselle Monnier's bed. The air was so unbreathable. The odor given off by the room was so rank that it was impossible for us to stay any longer to proceed with our investigation. Chiu didn't resemble a human, malnourished, lacking sunlight, and cut off from any social contact for 25 years. Blanche seemed like a scared animal when the officers took her out. Her mother was immediately arrested but died in prison after only 15 days. Before her death, she confessed to the inhumane treatment of her daughter. However, this decision made her mother unhappy, so she opposed her daughter's will. Madame Monnier argued that her daughter could not marry a penniless lawyer, and used all her means to prevent such a marriage. She tried to change Blanche's mind, to forbid her decision, to plot against her, but with no success. The young woman had no intention of fulfilling her mother's wishes. Blanche was once a beautiful French socialite from a well-respected family. It seemed as if Blanche suddenly disappeared from the face of the earth, or at least Paris. None of her friends knew where she was. On the 23rd of May, 1901, the office of the Attorney General of Paris received a mysterious letter. Unsigned missive. Read: Monsieur Attorney General, I have the honor to inform you of an exceptionally serious occurrence. I speak of a spinster who is locked up in Madame Monnier's house, half-starved, and living on a putrid litter for the past 25 years. In a word, in her own filth. Shocked by the letter, police decided to investigate the estate despite Monnier's family's sterling reputation. To their surprise, an extremely malnourished woman, cowering on the bed, covered in food and feces, was squinting through the light she had not seen in 25 years. Such claims were shocking for the police. But it was a monstrous scenario, and no one could believe that Madame Monnier was capable of such a thing. After they searched the home and discovered the tiny, dark, foul-smelling room on the 2nd floor, or at least what was left of her, a witness described the gruesome discovery. The unfortunate woman was lying completely naked on a rotten straw mattress. An article in the New York Times published on June 9th. Time passed, and Blanche was no longer young. Blanche's brother Marcel was first sentenced to 15 months in prison, later released, as he never physically restricted his sister's movement. As for Blanche, she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. She never returned to society.